in a way, I'm not yet in industry, so it's hard to tell. However, I know that it really depends what industry you're going into. I mean, if you're going to stay into something that is very, if your PhD is in something related to pharmaceuticals and then you go into a pharmaceutical company, it's quite obvious where the link is. But if you're asking for industry in general, it depends. I mean, you're going to get lots of transferable skills from your PhD, but not necessarily what you think they are. So, for example, you might go into a job and they require specific knowledge. So you might not have that knowledge specific to that industry, but you might be able to pick it up much quicker because you're so used to learning new things within your research, right? We always have to pick up a new method that is very complex, a new way of analyzing your data, things like that. And then they might say, well, can you write a paper on this? And you say, well, actually, I've been writing papers all the time. So it really depends what industry you go into, but you get lots of skills that are very useful to many industries. What the flexibility of the PhD can actually give you is that you have many opportunities to explore different avenues. Many people think when you do a PhD, you're just stuck in a lab and you don't do anything else outside of your little lab. But if you're smart about it, and if you look for the opportunities and you're proactive, you'll find many interesting things to do during your PhD, or even putting your PhD on a break, which is exactly what I did. I put my PhD on a break for 6 months by getting funding from from the research council that was funding me. And basically, I went to the research strategy unit at the Department for Business Innovations and Skills, and I worked as a science policy advisor for 6 months in the British government. And it was a fascinating experience. I was able to meet many people who had PhDs, who then went on to work in that same department. I was doing real work, I wasn't an intern, and I was able to see what it means to actually have a PhD and really feel what skills were relevant to industry, in this specific case, the civil service in England.